3, 2, 1.
And I've been squeezing these damn stress balls. If anything, all I do is just get more frustrated.
But they're bouncy.
Awesome.
So who would actually shoot this thing?
This was British military, primarily the Royal Navy. These were the primary weapons for ship-to-ship, fighting.
So I hear someone told me you had a $50 Pan Pacific?
I do.
The episode opens with a tease about Dwayne's World Car and a Ty Cobb bat worth 6 figures. I love how they drop these high-stakes items right away. It sets the expectation for a wild ride. You just know someone is going to ask for a crazy amount of money, and the negotiation drama is going to be top tier. This is the classic Pawn Stars formula that keeps us coming back every single time.
First dispenser.
Yes, sir.
Swing!
Got a 1925 Ty Cobb Joe Seal game used signed bat.
Let me start off with just a Ty Cobb game used bat. Easily 6 figures. There's no two ways about it.
A guy brings in a Buster Brown shoe store bench for advertising. Rick nerds out, explaining how Buster Brown was a comic strip used to market shoes around 1900. The seller wants $2,500, but Rick says it's only worth $1,000 restored. He offers a low $300, admitting there's no profit. The seller politely declines, saying he'll just put it at his house. This is such a classic item walks moment. The history is cool, but the economics don't work.
Oh, it looks comfortable.
Yeah. Got it for the advertising that's on it.
Okay. Buster Brown shoes were the #1 kids' shoes in the United States. I remember having Buster Browns as a kid.
Sure.
I think those were my church shoes.
Oh. Yeah.
I think every person who ever takes a marketing class should just learn about Buster Brown shoes because it's absolutely amazing. What they did is right around 1900, they went out and they bought the rights to the comic strip Buster Brown.
Now a 1925 Ty Cobb and Joe Sewell game-used signed bat. The seller explains it's a Ty Cobb bat signed by Joe Sewell who used it. He drops the bombshell. He wants $100,000. Corey is instantly skeptical, playing a who's on first routine trying to understand the story. Without proof it was Cobb's personal game bat, that price is insane. The sheer confidence of the seller is absolutely breathtaking to witness.
Joe Seal signed Ty Cobb's bat, but Joe Seal used it.
I feel like we're playing like who's on first here, but
It's a part of baseball history. It's a piece that belongs in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I know a lot about Ty Cobb. This is the guy that would sit there in his dugout where the catcher could see him and sharpen his cleats so they would actually, they'd be terrified of him.
Corey calls in 2 experts, one for autographs and one for the bat itself. The seller stays confident, claiming he's the expert. Corey's internal monologue reveals the bat is signed 3 times by Hall of Famer Joe Sewell. Calling in backup for a 6-figure item is the only smart move. The pressure is on for these experts to unravel this mystery. Is this a museum piece or an overpriced model bat? The tension is fantastic.
The museum, look at it.
This definitely looks like a Ty Cobb model bat, but the real question is, was it his personal bat? A bat that Ty Cobb actually used in a game is worth a lot more than the model bat that he sold to a lot of people. There's no way I'll even consider paying 6 figures for this without a second opinion. Let me have a few buddies come in.
Sure.
Got a buddy who's...
Autograph expert Steve confirms all 3 Joe Sewell's signatures are authentic. However, he drops the bad news. Sewell's autograph isn't in high demand, worth maybe $150 alone. He says the value changes on a bat, but that's not his department. The seller's $100,000 dream is already crumbling. You can see the reality setting in. A good signature doesn't automatically mean a good investment, especially for a less remembered player.
Concerns. I don't even think I've heard of Joe Sewell, so...
No problem. What we've got here with the signatures, and I know there's 3 different ones on here. I see live ink on here, so that's not an issue there. And then the last one is where at? Yeah, and the same could kind of be said for that. I'm seeing the impression.
All right.
Meanwhile, Rick is at a huge coin auction in Florida. He's hunting for a specific 1915 San Francisco Pan Pacific $50 gold piece for a customer. The atmosphere is intense with big money buyers. Rick explains the coin commemorated the Panama Canal opening and had minting troubles. This cutaway shows the scale of Rick's business outside the shop. It's a high-stakes treasure hunt with tens of thousands on the line.
Biggest coin auctions of the year in Florida right now. This is the place where all the big money buyers are at.
Anyone out 90,000, 85,000 Heritage Live. Is there another Heritage Live out there tonight?
The main coin I'm looking for here in Orlando is a 1915 San Francisco Pan Pacific $50 gold piece.
Rick finds the coin. The dealer wants $70,000. Rick offers $65,000, but the dealer says his customer wants full price, leaving Rick no profit. He walks away to look for another. This is the brutal dance of negotiation at this level. Every percent matters. You can see Rick calculating the deal, trying to find a sliver of profit for himself while making his customer happy. It's a delicate balancing act.
$70,000.
Would you take 65 for it?
No.
My customer wants to pay $70,000, so there's no money to be made.
That's fine. Anything I could do to help, let me know.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Rick finds a second coin for only $48,000, but he immediately sees it's been improperly cleaned, which ruins its value for a serious collector. He says his customer would never take it. The dealer admits it's for someone who doesn't want to pay a fortune. Rick sums it up. Everybody's weird in the coin business. So true. Condition is king, and a cleaned coin is a dead coin for purists.
But this one's been cleaned.
That's why it's $48,000. That's cheap for one of those.
My customer back in Vegas would never take this. He doesn't take that kind of coin. It's got to be, I mean, it's $48,000 is a great price.
Yeah,
but,
the price is really good, but some people I know are real quality conscious. So.
Okay.
Rick goes back to the first dealer and haggles hard. They settle at $67,500. Rick reveals he has it sold for $70,000, making a $2,500 profit. He says making a little is better than making nothing. This is the core philosophy of the pawn business in a nutshell. It's not a home run every time. A smart, small profit on a guaranteed sale keeps the lights on and the doors open.
Well, I'm back.
I thought you would be.
I have a customer. He's willing to pay right at $70,000 for one in good shape. Hopefully, we can make a great deal. Okay, and I mean, I have a customer for the coin. I'm not, you know this business, I'm not making a lot of money on this.
Rick's Florida detour. He goes to see the actual Wayne's World car, a 1976 AMC Pacer. The owner has it, complete with paperwork from when a TV station gave it away. Rick loves it, asking if it still has the licorice dispenser. It does. The nerd joy is palpable. This is such a fun, nostalgic piece of pop culture history. You can tell Rick is a fan, not just a businessman in this moment.
Swing!
How you doing?
I'm doing great. So this is it. This is the car.
The 1976 AMC Pacer.
This is absolutely great. Party on.
The car is rough, needing massive work. The owner wants $15,000. Rick offers $9,000, citing the restoration cost. They haggle to $9,500 and make a deal. Rick calls it a project and a pain in the ass, but it's gonna be fun. Buying a non-running movie prop car is a huge gamble, but the cultural cash of Wayne's World might make it pay off. Only in Pawn Stars.
World, a really, really popular movie, but it's rougher than I thought. Car needs a lot of work. So I'm taking a gamble, okay? If I buy this car, I'm taking a gamble. All right, the big question, how much you want for it?
I was asking $15,000.
Back to the bat. Expert Jeremy explains it's a Hillerick and Bradsby bat with Cobb's name, but made for Joe Sewell to Cobb's specs. The crucial verdict, Ty Cobb never used this bat. It's just his model. The seller's entire premise was wrong. Jeremy says a Cobb game bat is 6 figures, but this Sewell transitional bat is worth about $15,000. The air just got sucked out of the room.
Well, he's not as much of a household name, especially as far as a Hall of Famer, but what he did throughout the 1920s, he didn't strike out, and that's what made him very famous. For 7,000 at-bats, he struck out 114 times. In this day and age, 3 or 4 times a game, guys will strike out. He did that in a season. I mean, that was remarkable.
Corey offers $12,000 based on the expert. The seller, disappointed, counters at $75,000. They are miles apart, and the deal dies. The seller trashes the expert's knowledge on his way out. This is the harsh reality of collectibles. Your emotional attachment and investment don't dictate market value. The expert's evidence was overwhelming, and Corey had to walk away. Another high hopes item leaves the shop.
This bat was only used by Joe Sewell. The bat model itself is based on Ty Cobb, but it was actually never in the hands of Ty Cobb during a major game. There's just absolutely nothing Joe Sewell out there that would command that kind of price.
Well, my guy's saying it's worth 15, which means at the most I'd offer you 12. You're asking for 100.
Rick returns to the shop with the Wayne's World Pacer. The crew gathers and Chum asks if it has the licorice dispenser. Rick confirms, and they all plan to do some headbanging. The old man is hilariously confused about what headbanging is. It's a perfect, lighthearted ending after the intense bat negotiation.
Got back from Florida last night. I bought the coolest thing on the planet, the AMC Pacer from Wayne's World.
Please tell me it still has the licorice dispenser.
Still has the licorice dispenser. Do a little headbanging.
Wow, Rick and the old man are already going at it over parking. Rick says his dad gives old drivers a bad rap, and the old man fires back saying news says the best drivers are in their 60s and 70s. The sass is incredible. This is such a classic family dynamic, arguing over the most mundane stuff. You can feel the love through the insults. That opening banter really sets the tone for the whole episode.
Grandpa, put your glasses on. You can't see.
Oh, 6 inches from his nose. And after the way I saw his car was parked this morning, I don't think he can see a sign 6 feet away either. You know you shouldn't be driving.
I can drive, son.
A customer brings in a 1965 Dan Electro bass owned by John Entwistle of The Who. He wants $50,000. Rick is amazed but needs proof it was used on a record. The owner says Entwistle tried to record My Generation with it but broke strings. This is huge for rock history, but without solid documentation, the value plummets. Rick's skepticism is totally understandable. That's a life-changing amount of money to ask for.
One of his first basses he ever owned.
That is amazing. The Who is one of the greatest rock bands ever. Do you mind if I pick it up?
No, go ahead.
Can you picture me on stage?
I've never seen somebody make a bass guitar look so uncool in my entire life.
Now we've got a 1968 Nixon campaign paper dress. This is such a weird piece of history. The seller explains they were a disposable fashion fad, but were fire hazards. Rick jokes about getting caught in a rainstorm. The seller wants $1,600, but Rick lowballs at $300, citing Nixon's popularity. They haggle and settle at $360. Rick's warning to keep it in a watertight container is both hilarious and practical. What a bizarre item to end up in a pawn shop.
I would definitely rock a paper dress any day.
This is pretty neat. I like it.
How'd you get this?
Well, it's been folded up in one of my mom's bureaus for quite some time. Her father worked at the Pentagon, brought these home.
And this was, I imagine, a campaign thing for Nixon.
Rick calls in his guitar expert Jesse to appraise the Entwistle bass. Jesse confirms Dan Electro is a beginner to mid-level brand, but has a cool sound. He notes the bass is in great shape, but without proof it was used on a major recording. Its value is mainly in the provenance. He estimates a retail price between $10,000 and $15,000, a far cry from the ask $50,000. The expert knowledge totally changes the game for Rick's negotiation.
But they have a really neat sound, and a lot of guys picked them up and started using them because of that.
All right. He says that he played this in the studio.
I mean, you probably wouldn't see a lot of wear on John stuff, you know, and he held his hands like this. He wasn't a guy that was like...
Rick makes his offer, $10,000. The customer, a huge Who fan, decides to keep it, saying the lowest he'd take is $30,000 because his wife threatened to move back to Texas. That's some serious marital leverage over a bass guitar. Rick handles it gracefully, leaving the door open. It's fascinating how personal attachment and family pressure collide with the cold, hard cash of the pawn business. The item walks away.
It's cool that he probably played it on stage a lot, but, you know, I think $50,000 was a little much.
When you first told me, you know, you wanted 50, I had my doubts, but it was the Who, and I was thinking maybe there was something special. But
the bass player of the millennium.
The plot thickens. Rick is now worried about his dad's eyesight and driving. The old man insists he just renewed his license and his vision is fine. Corey quizzes him on traffic signs, and his answer about waiting 30 seconds at a blinking red light is painfully wrong. Rick's concern is real, but the old man's defiant "screw you guys" attitude is comedy gold. This brewing conflict is going to lead to something hilarious. I can feel it.
Rick is so blind he has to put on glasses to see if it's day or night, so he can kiss my ass.
I really think you ought to have a driving test.
I think I shouldn't.
Hey, I got a question for you, boss.
When are you allowed to go on a blinking red light?
You stop, you wait 30 seconds, and you look around, and then you go.
It's driving test time. They're in a vacant lot with cones. The old man calls it stupid but agrees. Chum is his guide, which he immediately rejects. The old man boasts about his past, saying he could have joined NASCAR. The crew places bets on whether he'll figure out how to start the car. The tension is hilarious. You just know this isn't gonna end with a perfect parallel park. This is reality TV gold right here.
What's Chumley on some of them?
I'm there to guide you.
Chumley, I want to avoid you. I don't want you to guide me, so shut up. I had two choices when I was young. I could either went Navy or join NASCAR.
The test is a disaster. He starts backing up weirdly, and the crew is yelling. Rick says it's scary and he's worse than thought. Then the reveal. The old man says he did it perfectly, only hitting the cones with Chum's face on them. He was taking target practice because he's wanted to run over Chum's face. This twist from an eyesight test to an anger management reveal is absolutely priceless. The old man is an iconic chaos agent.
Oh, God. What the hell is he doing?
I think he's... Oh!
He stopped? He's backing up.
This is definitely a fail.
New item, a 1940 Indian Chief motorcycle with a World War II sidecar. The seller needs money for his daughter's college and wants around $45,000 to $60,000. Corey is impressed but needs his expert Chris. The seller is confident, claiming he knows every nut and bolt. The historical backstory about it being sent to France and used by both French and German forces is incredible. This isn't just a bike, it's a museum piece with a wild past.
It's a World War II veteran.
This is really cool. You ought to pick this thing up, Corey. You can take your G.I. Joes for a ride.
So, how'd you get it?
I used to live in the UK, and I came across this. Bought it right there on the spot.
All right, they're just cool, man.
Expert Chris arrives and is speechless. He says these are usually in museums. He explains why Indians were more reliable than Harleys for the military, a crucial point in battle. Then he jokes that his first kid was born in a sidecar. They take it for a test ride, and Chris says it rides smooth like a Cadillac. His joy is contagious. You can tell this is a dream machine for any vintage vehicle enthusiast.
It was one of the most reliable bikes that the military had.
What makes it so reliable?
The way the engines were built and the transmissions, they were a lot more sturdier than the Harley-Davidson one. The Harley ones would bog out, die, and then if you got to hightail it, you got to hightail it, get out of there.
How fast do you think this thing would go,
Chris gives his appraisal, about $46,000 total. The seller is visibly disappointed, having dumped money and love into it. The bottom line collides with market reality. Corey mentions a similar auction at $42,000 and offers $38,000. The seller counters, saying he needs $40,000 to cover costs. The emotional struggle is real. This is his baby, but it's for his daughter's future. This is the human side of pawn you don't always see.
I think that's actually a little bit low on the sidecar with original frame. And what about the historical relevance? It's got a nice piece of history, and it is the classic 40s Indian.
It's still history, yes, and it still has a value. With the market today, I'd put a price on this at...
Corey caves. He's a sucker for motorcycles and agrees to $40,000. The seller is happy the money will go to tuition, but says saying goodbye is like losing an old friend. That bittersweet moment hits hard. Meanwhile, we cut back to the old man, who is now perfectly parked in Rick's spot to prove a point about his driving. The sheer petty brilliance of this move brings the episode's themes full circle. Perfection.
40 grand.
Sounds like a plan.
All right,
Thanks.
Sean, you want to write them up?
Okay.
Put it under your name, buddy.
$40,000 buy under my name?
Yep.
All right, come on.
Can you tell me why you parked in my parking spot?
Show you that I'm a good driver. If you go out there and measure.
A customer brings in a Civil War rifle that's been in his family for 5 generations. He wants a motorcycle and thinks it's worth over $5,000. The crazy part? Rick checks it and discovers it's still loaded with a ball and gunpowder. That is absolutely terrifying. Imagine that thing sitting on a fireplace for a century, ready to fire. The family history is cool, but the safety hazard is insane.
Brought in this rifle. Was a 5th generation grandfather of mine. He fought for the North.
It's pretty cool that you have a personal connection to it.
This thing looks pretty old, Rick. It is.
Rick confirms the gun is loaded because the ramrod doesn't go all the way down. He warns that old gunpowder can last over 100 years and could still fire. He calls in an expert, Sean, for antique arms. The old man yells, "Keep your finger off that trigger, man." This is the most dramatic safety check in Pawn Stars history. The mix of historical value and active danger is wild.
And it's loaded. You can tell it's loaded because when you stick the ramrod down, it doesn't go to the bottom of the barrel. but you have to be careful no matter what. It could still fire. The gun's in pretty rough shape, but since you got some history for it, it's going to be worth a lot more.
Now a guy in a full Halo Master Chief suit. He built it himself, spending 700 hours. Corey is speechless. The seller says chicks dig the suit, which is a bold claim. He wants $2,000 to help with student loans. Corey explains it's a hobby piece, more about the fun of making it. The dedication is impressive, but the market for a custom-fitted sci-fi costume is incredibly niche.
So you didn't pick him up for the suit?
I didn't know about the suit.
So who made this?
I made this all myself.
What's Halo? Explain the game.
Halo's basically a sci-fi action first-person shooter game, and basically you kill aliens in it.
Corey offers only $200 for the Halo suit. The seller counters, saying the most he's seen one go for was $15,000. Corey holds firm, and the seller leaves disappointed, taking his armor home. This is a classic clash between sentimental labor value and harsh resale reality. The suit is awesome, but who's the buyer? It's a tough sell, and Corey knows the shop isn't that buyer.
$100.
$100 is best you could do?
I'll tell you what, the most I can do is 200. That's the top I'm gonna go.
Most I've ever seen one of these go for was 15,000, but that was, for this one, 2,000.
A guy brings in 4 vintage pawn shop movie posters, including Unclaimed Goods and Pawn Ticket 210. He lost his wedding ring and needs to sell them to buy a nicer one. Rick nerds out, explaining pawn shops were the main form of consumer credit until the 1950s. He loves them and wants them for the shop's walls. This is a meta moment, collecting movies about your own business.
Nice.
This one's a French poster for an American film. It's a $5 baby.
And Pawn Ticket 210. Now, what's the other one? Pawn Shop Politics. That's cool.
The seller wants $2,000 for the 4 posters. Rick offers $1,000, but the seller refuses to break up the set. They haggle and settle at $1,500. Rick admits he probably overpaid, but says they'll look amazing in the store. This is Rick buying for passion, not just profit. The personal connection to the subject matter clearly overrides his usual hardline negotiating style.
$1,400?
$1,500, we have a deal.
It's a deal, man.
All right.
I probably paid more than I should have for these, but it's okay. They're going to look amazing in my store.
Next item, a rusted 1950s atomic missile pedal car. The seller's wife wouldn't let him bring it in the house. Rick loves it, explaining the nuclear-themed toys were poor sellers, making them rare now. The seller wants $1,500. Rick offers $500, citing the massive restoration needed. They haggle up to $1,000 and the deal is made. The wife will be shocked he got money for junk.
I'm thinking this one's the 1950s one because I know the handles were red.
Okay.
The thing was, I think moms had a little problem buying an atomic missile for their 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Expert Sean examines the loaded Civil War rifle. He loves the provenance. Paperwork, a newspaper clipping, and the soldier's initials branded on the butt. He confirms it's the real deal. He says the gun alone has value, but the provenance bumps it up. His estimate? Between $2,000 and $3,000. The seller looks immediately disappointed. The expert validation is there, but the number isn't life-changing.
In the 3rd battle he was in, he took a ball to the leg. He survived that. He wouldn't let him operate.
So they didn't take his leg. In my business, I encounter a lot of people trying to associate a provenance with an item. In this case, I really hope that this is the real deal.
Rick offers $1,300 to $1,400 for the rifle. The seller says $3,000 is his absolute minimum. Rick goes to $1,500, his final offer. The seller refuses, saying its worth to his family is more. He'll put it back on the fireplace with a loaded warning. The emotional value completely trumps the market price. Sometimes family history just can't be bought or sold, and that's okay.
How much do you want for it?
Well, more than what he was saying it's worth.
And how much is that?
3,000 is like the minimum I would even think of.
I couldn't come close to that. You know, I'm thinking right around $1,400. I mean, I would really love to buy this. This is something that really looked cool on the wall.
Corey takes the posters to the framer, Dave. Dave loves them, especially Pawn Shop Politics. Corey cuts a deal. Dave gets that poster for $1,500 in exchange for free framing on the other 3. Corey brags about getting free framing and cash. This is a slick business move, trading inventory for a needed service. It shows the secondary hustle beyond just buying and selling.
Probably in the range of $1,000 to $2,000 a piece.
Okay. I really like this one, man. Pawn shop politics. I like that. The stuff that they brought in today was very interesting. I had never seen any vintage posters like that. So what do you think about this one? How much you think it's worth selling for?
I'm not sure yet, man. Make me an offer.
Rick sees the framed posters and immediately asks, "Where's the other one?" Corey admits he sold pawn shop politics to the framer for $1,500. Rick is furious. "If I wanted to sell them, I would have done it myself. I want to keep them. This family drama is gold." Rick bought them as decor. Corey saw a profit. The clash between curator and businessman is hilarious.
You sold the other poster? Yeah, dude, we broke even already. If I wanted to sell them, I would have done it myself. I want to keep them. I mean, I can't get pawn shop stuff like this every day.
You actually bought art for the store?
Yeah, I mean, they're cool. They're pawn shop stuff.
A new customer brings Liberty passes from the USS Arizona and USS Mississippi. Rick explains the historical weight. A pass could have saved a sailor's life on December 7th, 1941. The seller is getting married and wants $200. Rick offers $100, then $150 for just the Arizona pass. The seller reluctantly agrees. It's a somber piece of history, and the haggling feels extra heavy.
Powder went off at once, and it went down in a matter of seconds. The guys didn't have a chance. In the Navy, a Liberty Pass gives you official permission to leave the ship for a little free time. But on December 7th, 1941, a Liberty Pass could have saved your life.
This one here was issued in San Pedro. That's before,
The final scene. The old man has sold another poster. Rick is exasperated. The old man says, "Don't be pissed, Rick. I sell chum if I get a chance." That closing line is perfect. It sums up the entire episode's theme. This is a business.
Thanks for getting it back. Put it right over here.
All right.
Where's the other one at?
Don't look at me. I'm open.
what, that little thing? I sold it.
What do you mean you sold it?
I got $1,500 for it.
So I assume you're gonna make the old man go buy.
A guy brings in a wooden propeller he says was a gift from Charles Lindbergh to his grandmother for selling war bonds. The old man immediately jokes it matches Rick's head. The propeller is in perfect condition with crystallized wax. Rick is fascinated but admits he has no clue of its value without documentation. This is a classic Pawn Stars dilemma, an amazing story with zero proof. The potential is huge.
Oh my God.
So what do we got here?
What is this?
This is a propeller passed down to me. It was a gift to my grandmother by Charles Lindbergh.
Hey, Rick, that matches your head.
Another customer brings a massive antique gun found in his grandma's garage. He calls it a prehistoric rocket launcher. Rick identifies it as a musketoon, similar to a shotgun, used for crowd control. He explains the dangerous, inconsistent brass manufacturing of the era and the proofing process at the Tower of London. The sheer size and history of this weapon are immediately captivating. Grandma had interesting taste.
What's going on?
What do we got here?
Well, I was cleaning out my grandma's garage. She passed away a couple years back, and I found this thing in the corner.
What was Grandma up to?
I don't know. That's a very good question. This is the last of her stuff, and I'm hoping it's worth some money.
I think this is a musketoon.
Rick reveals his doctor diagnosed him with stress and high blood pressure, blaming the shop. The old man scoffs, saying back in his day stress was handled with a bottle of Jack. Rick tries using stress balls, which the old man mocks relentlessly. The family dynamic of teasing Rick about his health is both hilarious and painfully real. The stress ball bit becomes a running gag for the episode.
The weather, so I went and saw my doctor, and all she can say is, I'm stressed out.
So what'd the doctor have to say?
Said I have too much stress in my life.
Too much stress?
What do you mean, stress?
She says I have high blood pressure as a result of stress, and she thinks it's because of all of you.
Expert Sean examines the musketoon. He reveals it's a composite piece. The lock and barrel are from the 1680s, but it was restocked around 1740 and put back into service. He's thrilled, saying these are extremely rare and most museums don't have one. His excitement is contagious. He confirms it's 100% real with no replaced parts, which is a huge win after Rick's initial skepticism.
If it's real, it could be worth a lot of money, but I'm skeptical. So I called in my buddy Sean to take a look at it and authenticate it for me.
So what are your concerns, Rick?
First off, is it real? And if it is, it looks like it has a lot of stuff replaced right here. I mean, every screw seems different. The lock on it, I've never seen a lock like that.
Sean gives the appraisal, a conservative auction estimate of $10,000 to $15,000. Rick's eyes light up. Now he really wants it. The seller originally just wanted cash for grandma's stuff, but now knows its true worth. The expert validation transforms the entire negotiation. Rick is in a tough spot. He wants it, but now the seller's price expectation has just skyrocketed thanks to Sean's presence.
I have no idea what you have here. You don't find this every day. I mean, it's 100% real. And it's worth quite a bit of money. Rick, most museums don't even have a musketoon like this.
The negotiation is tense. The seller starts at $10,000. Rick offers $4,000. They haggle, and Rick's final offer is $6,000. The seller accepts. Rick is happy he got the gun, but afraid he overpaid. He's worried it might not even fire. That fear of the unknown after a big purchase is so relatable. The thrill of the buy is immediately followed by buyer's remorse. Classic Rick.
And just say 10.
Okay, without a doubt, I really want this thing. $4,000.
I do want cash today.
Okay.
$4,000 is a little too low. I'm at 10, you're at 4. We're about 6,000 apart.
The stress ball argument continues. Rick threw them away, saying they made him more frustrated. Corey and the old man mock him, with Corey offering a massage with his magic hands. Rick just wants peace and quiet. This B-plot of Rick's stress is the perfect comedic relief between the high-stakes antique deals. The family's way of helping is just to annoy him more, which is painfully accurate.
Why are balls in the trash?
I tried them, they don't work.
Maybe you weren't using them right. Maybe you weren't breathing properly.
Last week, I went and saw my doctor, and she diagnosed me with being stressed.
I didn't see you try once.
Why are you lying about it?
Aviation expert Mark examines the Lindbergh propeller. He confirms it's a pre-World War II civilian propeller, but pours cold water on the story. He notes Lindbergh was in the isolationist America First group and wasn't doing bond drives. He says a presentation from Lindbergh would have been in the papers. Without documentation, it's just a nice propeller. The customer's family story is crumbling under historical fact.
The fact that it's this particular serial number, and it's a civilian serial number, it doesn't have a... Most propellers in the 1930s were wood. They weren't all wood though. They were using steel, they were using aluminum, they were beginning to try new materials that would last better.
The customer insists his grandparents wouldn't lie. Mark suggests maybe a different famous pilot presented it. Rick and the old man make an offer anyway, $1,500 for the propeller as an antique, not a Lindbergh relic. They advise him to take it home and find the paperwork. He wisely agrees. This is a good lesson. Never sell a family heirloom with an unverified story. Do the research first.
I can't dispute that because they wouldn't lie to me. Why would they lie to me?
My first guess would be that it was a different pilot that might have presented it. There are a lot of very famous pilots that did work with the bond drives.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Mark.
A new customer brings Willie Nelson's car keychain. He says his dad bought the 1990 Mercedes at auction and the title had Willie's name. The old man is brutally skeptical. This is not my first time at the rodeo. He says he'd only believe it if Willie Nelson himself verified it, and that's the day he'd retire. The sheer absurdity of trying to pawn a single keychain is fantastic.
I'm pretty sure this is an obvious buy, but I know the old man would rather I asked him first.
What do we got, son?
We got a keychain that belonged to Willie Nelson, his 1990 Mercedes-Benz.
There's no way that I can verify that this came off of Willie Nelson's car.
My father, good man, 25 years in the car business, gave this to me as a gift.
Rick, fed up with stress balls, decides to have fun by firing the musketoon. Expert Sean explains its brutal naval use for clearing decks with nails and glass. They load it with black powder. The shift from stressed out shop owner to historical reenactor is hilarious. This is the ultimate stress relief. Shooting a 17th century weapon. You can see the joy building on Rick's face.
My doctor diagnosed me with stress, and I've been using the stress balls for like a week, and to be honest, they don't work.
Here you go, chum.
I'm tired of being stressed. I'm the owner of this place. I'm gonna start having a good time, and I'm gonna start with this musketoon.
Awesome.
They fire the musketoon. It works perfectly with a huge bang and smoke. Rick proclaims, "In one shot, all my stress went away." He renames it the stress reliever. This is the perfect cathartic end to the episode. It turns out the solution to modern stress wasn't therapy or balls, but firing an antique shotgun. Only in Pawn Stars does that make complete sense.
2, 1.
In one shot, all my stress went away. It felt so good.
How's that for stress relief?